Picking up from episode 6, the town residents were able to take down their Smiley adversary by eliminating their number one hater, nightmare creature number 1, dubbed as Smiley. Before episode 6, I got a chance to speak to the actor who started as a background character, but because of his sinister grin and effect on the show was moved up to cast. What does it mean that the residents finally fought back and finally changed and finally turned the tables from the hunted to the hunters? It is important to remember that when residents push against this place, Fromville pushes back. To me, the creatures were a method of containment, not a real threat. What I mean by this is the residents were easily able to avoid and find deterrents to normally survive as long as they followed the rules of the game. Always lock your door, always put up a talisman, always stay away from the window. The majority of people slept good at night with no worries, even going as far to have relationships and children. I'm sure the future with this change of events will add another, more sinister problem that will arise. What will it be? We know a food shortage is coming, but there may also be other shortcomings, and also there may be other threats uncovered. Yes, this is a win, but the battle still goes on. In the scope of things, they don't have any more info than they had before they killed Smiley. They still don't know where they are. They still don't know how to escape. And they still don't know what the nightmare creatures are. Idealistically, this is 2 steps back for them. Smiley might have been the ringleader who kept the game going, and now that he is gone, all bets are off. As much as I love the show, I do realize this is a show, and even though I would like Smiley to be the end boss, the show is not set up like Batman. Smiley won't be returning this season, but I'm sure there's a possibility with his popularity he returns next season. It seems the creatures can take different forms and look like anyone they want or anyone the town's people or colony house members may recognize. And I would like to say they recognize him. After Boyd left the hospital and transferred the worms to Smiley, what did the worms do? We see Kenny propose this theory. When asked what the next steps were, the idea was to study the creature, to find a weakness and exploit it amongst the other creatures. Kenny, not on board with this plan that the worms might still be alive, seemingly contradicting himself because before he was so ready to take the worms on to save Ellis. Kenny is suffering from grief, the loss of his father, the loss of his love, and the loss of Boyd. In this situation, it seems he was apprehensive to lose everyone again or lose them all at once. In the next scene, we see Randall purposely baiting Jim by attempting to crash the drone into his head to get his attention. Jim not willing to let go of the mysterious voice heard on the radio, but looking for more answers and to be the one to find the way home. I don't know what he thinks will happen if he gets a message out, because in this situation, he knows all communications go to them. The person he talked to, the voice on the radio, did not seem helpful and did not seem like he wanted to help them escape. When the response was, "Your wife shouldn't be digging that hole," Jim should have recognized that this person was not there to help him, that was not emergency services. The sound advice from everyone else telling Jim to abandon the radio idea. He seems not to want to listen. Now, Jim's partnering with Randall out of desperation. The plan is to attach a wire to the drone and take the drone up higher than they were on the colony house. But it looks like the drone that Randall has is a small toy, not professional or commercial in quality, and I'm sure not able to go more than 5 to 10 feet. It seemed to me that Randall purposely looked to get Jim's attention. And now, when I think about it, each person from the bus seems to have a plan to get one person from the town's attention and preoccupy them. To me, this is the theory of the town conspiracy, manipulated by the people from the bus. Elgin seems to be there to suggest and manipulate Julie. Randall is there to suggest and manipulate Jim. Tilly is there to suggest and manipulate Boyd. And Mari is there to manipulate to Christy and Bakhtu, the bus driver, opposite Donna, who is there to also suggest and manipulate her. This was brought to my attention when Elgin saved Ellis by running to the van and getting Ellis and Fatima in the van and getting them both safely to the hospital. At the hospital, he saw Boyd, in his finest moment, take on the creatures with no fear and bring a small victory to the side of the losers. When told not to tell anyone, Elgin agreed. But in this episode, we see him do the opposite. Why would Elgin tell Julie? Julie is a big part of the show, close with her brother, tolerating her mother, but does have much love for Jim. Julie takes no real responsibility, is not in any leadership position, and is not doing anything to lead or help, more so worry and cheerlead. There was no reason for Elgin to pull Julie aside and specifically tell her what happened at the clinic when Boyd specifically told him not to. This is a tactic by Elgin to either influence Julie to get to Jim or Tabitha. Given Julie's relationship with her parents, I believe it's more so for Jim than Tabitha. During the discussion, Julie was all ears, but did not give any good feedback or suggestions from what Elgin said. The information went nowhere. Julie gave him feedback on what she does when things get to her. She gave him the idea to take a bath, fill the tub up, and sink to his ears. And from this advice, we see came the witch, or as some Reddit theorists have put it, Fatima. When Elgin was in the bathroom, he took a bath. He saw the music box, not seem asleep, but seemingly awake. In this now ever so frequent daymare, we've seen Boyd have, Sarah have, Tabitha have, Jade have, and now Elgin. After the music played in the jukebox, Elgin was pushed underneath the water and held there. When the viewpoint of the character changed, we saw that Elgin was being pushed down by a seemingly thin, zombie-like woman with black hair with a flowered shirt. This flowered shirt was also very similar to the shirt we seen Fatima wear when talking to Donna in the greenhouse. The difference in the shirt was that it wasn't a shirt, but seemingly a kimono. There have been no talks in the town about clothes or kimonos or any type of ethnic dress, and this is the first character we see with that attire. Was the woman who tried to drown Elgin a nightmare creature, a zombie? Was it Fatima, Julie, or a figment of Elgin's imagination? Similarly, like Boyd in the ballerina, I believe the vision seen by Elgin says more about him than what us, the viewers, see. Why did Boyd see a ballerina? Why does Tabitha see kids? Why does Jade see the symbol? These visions are trauma related, already in the people that have the visions, and in time of great stress comes out in what we see as a daymare. One thing we do know is that Boyd was really hurt by the ballerina. So can these dreams kill? Is this the Nightmare on Elm Street or Nightmare on Fromville? I do not think the creature that drowned Elgin was Fatima, Julie, or anyone in the colony house. It was an Asian corpse wearing a kimono. Very, very random. We know the visions are not actually real, and when discussed on a later episode, Donna, Elgin almost drowned. He fell asleep in the tub. But us watching the scene understand that he did not fall asleep, but entered a daydream when he saw the music box. If this is a kimono, if the woman is an Asian woman, could it be a witch? Evidence from season 1 and season 2 have pointed to magic, supernatural entities, and a witch would be a combination of them both. We've seen in other shows where witches have taken over towns and created a bubble around it, where if you're in, you can't escape, and if you're out, you can't get in. This was the plot and theme of the Scarlet Witch in the Disney series, where she had mind control and illusions over the town people. Is this the same thing? Is the entire village of From under the spell of this witch? If the witch is Asian, could this have been Kenny's mom? But how did she get into Colony House? Kenny's mom has been in the center of many visions. From the first visions with Sarah happened in the diner. 2 visions with Boyd happened in the diner. And some of the most critical information that has come from the show has been found in the diner. Is Kenny's mom and is the diner the key to solving this mystery and From? We don't know. But with each episode, more clues are revealed, but at the same time, more questions are formed. We do know that the world of From is changing. Plants aren't growing, the leaves are falling, the temperature is changing, and a new time is coming. Could this be the deterrent that is happening from them fighting back and killing one of the nightmare creatures? We know that there is something that they found in the body of Smiley, but we don't know how they will use it to protect themselves or rid themselves from the nightmare creatures. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I am the Movie Guru, and this is episode 7 discussion and review.